Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll show you how you can create a check-in and check-out app as a part of an employee portal. The app will allow the user to do a check-in in the beginning of the day and then a check-out at the end of the day. And as you can see here, it's just a simple check-in, check-out app, and it will store the data on a SharePoint list. Let's jump right into it. Let's start preparing the main components for our app. Go to make.powerapps.com and then go to solutions. You can also create this as a standalone app, but I prefer to show you how to create it with solutions. Create a new solution. All right, we will just create this one employee portal, even though it's a check-in, check-out, but I can see it as a part of an employee portal app. So we are just prepared to make future features in this app. Cool. Let's create a Canvas app. Go to App, Canvas app. And let's name it Employee Portal Demo. I'll create this app in the phone format because I think that's where most employees would want to check in or check out. So the first part would be to set in a header. And you can create this in a very simple way with a shape, a rectangle, and then some text. I will just import some components I have created. As you can see, it's just a header component I have imported. You can check out my video on how to create this. I've done some quick styling to my header, like removing the icon and giving it a name, and then made it follow the width of the actual app. Next up is creating the actual buttons to go to a check-in page or check-out page or another page in our employee portal. So let's set in some containers. The reason that I'm using containers is so that I can add a drop shadow to the actual buttons. I'll place the buttons inside these containers and we'll have this cool drop shadow effect. I will copy this one. So inside the first container, I'll place a simple button. And I will give it a text. Let's call it check-in, check-out. Just change the color, and then let's remove the border radius of the button and the border. Then the same for this one. I'll also create a button. All right, so this is our front page. Let's create a second screen where we will do the actual check-in, check-out. So on my second screen, I have just inserted my header component. As I said previously, you can check out my video on that. And I've just styled it. Let's create the actual check-in functionality. So I will insert a container and style it. Make the drop shadow semi-bold. And then inside this one, I will create a button. And let's remove the border radius and the border. Let's give it another fill color. Just give it this green color. Let's set in a picture of the actual employee. So I will set in a container. The styling I have added to the container is that the size is 200 and 200. And then I gave it a border radius of 100 and added a semi-bold drop shadow. That creates a circle that is ready for an image. So let's add the image. To add the profile picture of the signed in user, we can tap into the user property dot image. As you can see here, we have this cool drop shadow effect. Let's increase the border radius a bit more. Okay, let's add a message for the user just to make them feel more welcome. So I'll add a text label. Then I will do a concatenation of two properties. First, I will say hello, and then I'll concatenate it with the user's full name, and then do a split and take the first value of that split, because that will take the first name of that one, and I will tap into the value. So as you can see here, the first value after the split is the actual first name of the user. By doing this, I will have this message saying, "Hello, Andy." Let's just center it. Make it a bit more bold. Great. Now that we have created the basics of our check-in, check-out screen, let's connect it with the first page. So when we unselect on this button, let's just navigate to screen 2. That's it. With the visuals almost in place, let's start creating the storage where our actual data will be saved. To do this, you need a SharePoint page for this example, and I've created a SharePoint page called Employee Portal, and on this page I will create a new list, a blank list, and let's call it Employee Check-in, Check-out. We will use this list to store our actual data about the employee, so when they check in and check out. And in order to store these check-in, check-out dates, we will need 2 columns. So choose date and time columns. Let's do a checkout. You might ask, well, don't we need a column for the name? And you could implement that, but I will just utilize the created by. So there is a standard SharePoint column called created by. And as you can see, created by, you can add that to the list. And then that will automatically be utilized when you create a new list item from the Power App. And this would also be the one that I would use in reporting. If we were to create a Power BI report on top of this data, I will just use the created by to actually determine who did the check-in and check-out. All right, let's jump back to the Power App to create the check-in and check-out functionality. Let's implement some logic that will help us save our data on the SharePoint side. I can think of several ways to do this. This is just one example on how to do it. Let's start off by connecting to our SharePoint list by going to the data sources. Find SharePoint. Find your SharePoint site and your list. Now that we have connected to SharePoint, let's implement the logic that will help us save our data. So go to screen 2, or the screen where you have the check-in, check-out, and then choose the unvisible property. So the first thing I've done is implemented this formula. It might look a bit overwhelming, but it basically just fetches the newest record from the list. So let's jump through it quickly. First, I have done a sort on my employee table on the check-in column and just sorted descending, so I have the newest in the top. Then I will take the first record and then append it to this variable, local variable I will call the newest record. And the way I do this is by doing the update context, writing the variable, and then this will be the actual value of this record. And we didn't find any data because we didn't have anything. This will help us fetch the latest record for the current user that have logged in. But how do we then know it doesn't take another employee's data? That is because on this list, we will have in the list settings a setting that determines which data the user have access to. So I will switch this access to, instead of read all items, then only read items that were created by the user. And the same with this one, create and edit items that were created by the user. So now the users that log into the Power App will only have access to their own records. Let's save this one. Now, with this record that we have saved in this variable, we can start to do some logic based on the values of that record. So I've written a formula here that would help us set whether the check-in, check-out is actually completed for the specific day, or we are just awaiting checkout for the employee, or the employee needs to check in. So if we look at this formula and break it down, I have an if statement as the main function in this formula, and then I say if the value of the check-in and the value of the checkout is today, then I will update this employee registration status to completed, and that will just have an ID. So that is our local variable we will utilize to specify how the app should react to different scenarios. So I'll summarize it again. If the check-in, the latest check-in and the latest checkout from this one is today, then the registration is completed. If that isn't the case, but the check-in of the newest record is today, then we will update our variable employee registration status to awaiting checkout. And with an ID 2, we can use. If that isn't the case, that means that we are awaiting check-in for this specific employee. Therefore, we will update our local employee registration status to awaiting check-in. With this implement, we can utilize this variable to do some logic inside the rest of our app. So let's try to do that. So the first thing that will be dependent on the registration status of our employee would be the actual text of the check-in or check-out button I have here. So in the text, let's do a check on the employee registration status, which is set in the invisible property of the screen. If this is ID 2, that means we are awaiting checkout. If not, that means we need to check in. But what about if we have already checked in and checked out for today? Then we shouldn't be able to press this button at all. So what I would do here is I would go to display mode and then say if the employee registration status.text is completed, or you can choose the ID instead if you want to do a check on that. Then this button is not usable. Elsewise, we can edit. So that means we can click on the button. Next up, let's add a small descriptive text to this box, just to inform the employee what should we actually do. So in the text property, I will do a check again. If your employee registration is ID1, meaning completed, you have already checked out today. I'll just say that in a message. If it's ID2, meaning you have already checked in, then I will say remember to check out. Else, there should be a text called glad to have you back, please check in, because that will be the other case if these two are not true. It's already working, as you can see, because we don't have any registrations in our SharePoint list. So it shows us the text, glad to have you back, please check in. All right, so let's implement the actual functionality that will patch or save our data in the SharePoint side. So to do this, go to the check-in button and go to unselect, and then specify the following formula. So this formula is an if formula that will do a check on our employee registration status. So if this one, the ID is 2, meaning that we are awaiting checkout, then we will need to do a patch to the current record that has the check-in. So that will be sorting our list based on the check-in and find the newest record and take the first record from that, because this will be the record that we need to patch our checkout value to. So the checkout value, we'll write it as this and then specify it's right now. So the current time we would like to patch to the checkout column in our newest record. That will be this function. Patch employee check-in checkout list, first sort, and then our checkout. If that isn't the case, then we would like to create a new record, because that means that we need to do a check-in, or we are in the process of doing a check-in. So we will do a patch to our list, then use the default function of that list, because this means that we are creating a new record. And then instead of the checkout, we will do a patch to the check-in column with the current timestamp. After we have done this, let's just navigate to screen 1. Let's try to test this out. Let's play it. Let's try to check in. We navigate it back. Let's go to our list. Great, we have a check-in. Let's try to go to check-in, checkout again. See, it have changed the values on the screen to checkout, saying we need to check out, remember to check out. So let's try to check out. Let's check out SharePoint. Let's give it a couple of seconds. And it has done a checkout for us. That's wonderful. Let's see what happens if we try to do it again. It says you have already checked out today. So we can't do anything. So we have to wait until tomorrow. So that is exactly the functionality we would like to have. All right, so there you have it, an employee check-in and check-out app. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, stay awesome and build awesome apps.